All right, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
It is Tuesday,
It is.
and today, up there. Today, it's a two-part parallel, and we talk Herod kills John the Baptist. The first part is in Matthew chapter 14, starting at verse 3. For Herod had arrested and imprisoned John as a favor to his wife Herodias, the former wife of Herod's brother Philip. John had been telling Herod, "It is against God's law for you to marry her." Herod wanted to kill John, but he was afraid of a riot because all the people believed John was a prophet. But at a birthday party for Herod, Herodias' daughter performed a dance that greatly pleased him. So he promised with a vow to give her anything she wanted. At her mother's urging, the girl said, "I want the head of John the Baptist on a tray." Then the king regretted that he had what he had said, but because of the vow he had made in front of his guest, he issued the necessary orders. So John was beheaded in the prison, and his head was brought on a tray and given to the girl, who took it to her mother. Later, John's disciples came for his body and buried it. Then they went and told Jesus what had happened. From there we go to Mark chapter 6, starting at verse 17. For Herod had sent soldiers to arrest and imprison John as a favor to Herodias. She had been his brother Philip's wife, but Herod had married her. John had been telling Herod, "It is against God's law for you to marry your brother's wife." So Herodias bore a grudge against John and wanted to kill him. But without Herod's approval, she was powerless, for Herod respected John, and knowing that he was a good and holy man, he protected him. Herod was greatly disturbed whenever he talked with John, but even so, he liked to listen to him. Herodias' chance finally came on Herod's birthday. He gave a party for his high government officials, army officers, and leading citizens of Galilee. Then his daughter, also named Herodias, came in and performed a dance that greatly pleased Herod and his guest. "Ask me for anything you like," the king said to the girl, "and I will give it to you. Even," he vowed, "I will give you whatever you ask, up to half my kingdom." She went out and asked her mother, "What should I ask for?" Her mother told her, "Ask for the head of John the Baptist." So the girl hurried back to the king and told him, "I want the head of John the Baptist right now on a tray." Then the king deeply regretted what he had said, but because of the vows he made in front of his guests, he could not refuse her. So he immediately sent an executioner to the prison to cut off John's head and bring it to him. The soldier beheaded John in the prison, brought his head on a tray, and gave it to the girl, who took it to her mother. When John's disciples heard what had happened, they came to get his body and buried it in a tomb. Now the commentary from Matthew. Herod Antipas was one of 3 rulers over the 4 districts of Palestine. His territory includes the regions of Galilee and Perea. He was the son of Herod the Great, who ordered the killing of the babies in Bethlehem. That's in Matthew chapter 2, verse 16. He heard Jesus' case before Jesus' crucifixion. That's in Luke 23, verse 6 through 12. Palestine was divided into 4 territories, each with a different ruler. Herod Antipas, called Herod in the Gospels, was ruler over Galilee. His brother Philip ruled over Trachonitis and Ilturia. Philip's wife was Herodias, but she had left him to marry Herod Antipas. When John confronted the two for committing adultery, Herodias formulated a plot to kill him. Instead of trying to get rid of her sin, Herodias tried to get rid of the one who brought it to public attention. This is also exactly what the religious leaders were trying to do to Jesus. Christians today face a world of moral compromise. Secular power sets standards that correspond to majority vote. Christian standards, however, begin and end with God's Word. To be faithful to God's Word, we must stand up against what is morally wrong. Responsible Christians must choose their battles. Start with prayer for wisdom, then prayer for courage. Once your battle is chosen, speak and act as a faithful follower of the living God. Witness with strength, move mountains by faith, overcome in love. Show the compromise. I'm sorry, I should have said that. This is we're already in the mark.
Oh, okay. That's okay.
It's all right. Let's see. Witness with strength. Move mountains by faith. Overcome in love. Show the compromised world a little of what John's stubbornness, fortitude, and faith. Herod arrested John the Baptist under pressure from his wife and advisors. Though Herod respected John's integrity, in the end, Herod had John killed because of pressure from his peers and family. What do you do under pressure often shows what you are really like. As a ruler under Roman authority, Herod had no kingdom to give. The offer of half his kingdom was Herod's way of saying that he would give Herodias' daughter almost anything she wanted. When Herodias asked for John's head, Herod would have been greatly embarrassed in front of his guests if he had denied her request. Words are powerful because they can lead to great sin. We should use them with great care. Let's see. Oh yeah, I'm trying to see. March 15.
Did you lose your place?
Yeah, it's just it's a little confusing here where we left off. 16, 17 or 29. Okay, just kind of going backwards here a little bit. Herod, among with many others, wondered who Jesus really was. Unable to accept Jesus' claim to be God's son, so many people made up their own explanations for his power and authority. Herod thought that Jesus was the John the Baptist come back to life.
That's in the two
No,
verses.
yeah, see, I'm a little ahead of myself.
That's okay. That's
Yep.
in the two verses that we
Yeah.
didn't read above what we wrote, or before what we read today.
Sorry about that. Got
That's
a little.
okay. It'll come back in housekeeping later.
Yeah.
Catching up. One thing that I'd like to say is, though it is peer pressure that got him to do things that he didn't want to do, it also, we need to take in consideration, it's also a good thing for accountability sometimes. Maybe not so much in this situation, but the reason he did it is because he had said that in front of people that would hold him accountable.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to, one, never make promises we're not willing to keep.
Mm-hmm.
And two, realize the importance of accountability, because if we tell somebody that we're going to do something, we're more likely to do it. If we just keep it to ourselves, then nobody knows if we skip it today, or nobody knows if we don't because we didn't tell anybody we were going to. So accountability is an important thing.
Yeah. And I guess the thing that just came to me is, Herodias and Herod, she left her then husband to marry Herod, probably thinking it was an upgrade or something like that, or whatever the reason was. It doesn't really matter. And so instead of repenting and maybe separating, and fixing it, she decided to kill the messenger.
Yeah.
Which is what I think in our modern times we do. We have this sin of whatever that is, it doesn't matter. And we go to a church and they point that out to you and say, you really need to change this. Well, I'm scared, I'm angry, I don't really want to do that. So then they leave the church or cause trouble or, kind of give up, instead of looking at it and letting the Spirit talk to them and say, yep, I really need to change whatever this thing is and do it.
It happens on an interpersonal level too, not just in a corporate church level.
Yeah.
Just like between friends, it's happened.
Yeah, somebody points something out to you and
Friends and family
and you get offended by it and you cut them off instead of reflecting on what they said.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very important.
Yeah. All right. Hope everybody has a glorious day, and we'll talk to you later.